don't think many people are going to be up this early in the morning, but I will give it a minute or, well, not even a minute or two. I'll just give it a few seconds to send out the notice for anybody that is awake. Well, let me correct that. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are awake, but probably not watching YouTube right now. They're probably getting ready for work. All right. So give me about 15 seconds here. Looks like people are starting to come in. All right, looks like the alert went out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I am on my way down to Austin. Rick was down in Austin yesterday. I'm down in Austin today. Hey, Terry. We're hearing, or at least House Bill 1177 is being heard today in the, I think it's the Homeland Defense, yeah, and Public Safety Committee. So what we're going to do is we're going down. This is one of the bills that we do support. And here's what it does. It does two things. During Hurricane Katrina, one of the problems that we had was that as emergency evacuation orders were being issued, a lot of people affected by the floods and stuff like that, especially in Houston, were prohibited from carrying their firearms into emergency shelters. These people had no choice, and we all know what happens during an emergency declaration is you've got some douchebags that try to take advantage of people during these difficult times by looting their homes and things like that. So people aren't comfortable leaving their guns behind, and they're definitely not comfortable being unprotected. So they would like to take their firearms with them. However, even licensed individuals were prohibited from entering shelters, and their handguns were confiscated if they wanted to go into an emergency shelter. HB 1177, excuse me, HB 1177 by Representative Phelan does two big things. The first thing it does is it exempts people from the requirement to have a license to carry a firearm while evacuating from or even back to a place that was declared an emergency and there was an evacuation order. Now, let me say from the outset, this problem can easily be solved with House Bill 357. We don't need it. We wouldn't need it if the government wasn't forcing us to get a permission slip in the first place. So I'm just going to leave that out there, and I'm not going to make that a part of this conversation because I agree with you. We shouldn't need a license whether there's a state of emergency or not, because the last thing we need to do is allow government to determine when we believe it's okay to defend ourselves. So, leaving that aside, so that's the first thing it does. It allows you to carry without a license to and from an emergency area, an area that has been declared a disaster, excuse me. It also prohibits emergency shelters from prohibiting you, if you are prohibiting you from having a firearm as long as you're not a prohibited person in a shelter. So if you get mandatorily evacuated and you have to go to a shelter that has been declared and defined under the code, they can't say or take your firearm. You have a right to carry that. Here's the problem I have with this bill, other than what I've already described. The bill also only allows 168 hours, so 7 days is what that is, from the emergency declaration. So it's only in effect for 168 hours. So what happens if, and I think this happened in Houston, what happens if it lasts longer than 7 days? Because that's what 168 hours is. It's basically 7 days or 1 week. What happens if the emergency declaration is longer than 7 days? I just want to check something to make sure that I've got my timing right, because yeah, it says since the evacuation was ordered. So this the problem I have with this bill, and that we are going to try and bring up in committee, is that the 7-day clock should start when the evacuation order has been lifted. Because what if I'm somewhere else and, you know, I don't come back immediately, or I come back on the 8th day? The problem is, if the evacuation order is made on a Monday and it's not lifted until a Sunday, well, you've already elapsed 168 hours. And so if it takes you a day, depending on where you evacuated to get back to your home, well, now you're in violation of this law again. So like I said, this can all be fixed by just passing House Bill 357, and then you don't require a license. And here's what's sick. Here's what's absolutely sick about this bill. And I understand Phelan's a friend, all right? So I'm not attacking Phelan on this. I'm attacking the fact that Phelan has to even file this bill. That's what I'm attacking. That's the problem that I have with this bill. The sick part of this is, if I have if I have to leave because my home is flooded, or I've lost my home in a tornado or anything, and I leave the state of Texas, oddly enough, I don't need a license anyway at almost every state that I can go to, because 37 states don't require a license to carry a handgun. Most of those are open. Well, 20 of those are open, and 17 of those are open and concealed. I don't need a license. So Texas is one of only 13 states where I need a license or a permission slip to carry a firearm to begin with. So that's really what's sick about this bill, is that we even need it to begin with, to protect people who have to evacuate during an emergency order. Because Texans should not have to have a license at all to carry a firearm, to carry a handgun, because we already don't need a license to carry a rifle or to carry a handgun in our vehicles. So those are the things that I'm going to bring up today. This is a bill that we support, again, because anything we can do to help people to be able to carry a firearm in self-defense, we're going to support. But the reservations we're going to bring up and we're going to ask to have changed is this 168-hour requirement, because the way it's worded, it starts at when the order was issued. And then we're also going to bring up the fact that what's absurd is the law is only going to apply in Texas, and it's not necessary in literally every state that borders Texas. And if I have family anywhere between here and the Atlantic except Florida, I don't need a license to carry a handgun. I can carry it anywhere. If I have family anywhere between Texas and California, I don't need a license to carry a handgun because they don't require one. And if I have family anywhere between Texas and Canada, I also don't need a license to carry, because those states don't require a license to carry a handgun. However, when I return from those states and I enter the borders of the greatest state in the country, miraculously, I have to have a government permission slip to exercise a fundamental right that 37 other states recognize, and that 17 of those 37 recognize concealed and openly. So if you are anywhere in the Austin area, the hearing begins in about a half an hour, 35 minutes from now. The committee opens up at 8 o'clock. They'll probably cover a little bit of business first if they start on time, and 1177 is just one of several bills being heard in the Homeland Security and Public Safety Committee. So if you're in Austin, make your way down there. Even if you can't stay to testify, make your way down there. at least sign up on the kiosk, file a card in support of HB 1177. If you can testify, I have a feeling that we're going to be told that if we talk about, well, I know if we talk about 357, we're probably going to be called out of line, because Navarez has been really good about keeping everything on point. However, I believe in this instance 357 is actually legitimate, because that would make the current bill that's being debated unnecessary. Because if 357 passes, we don't need a bill saying that only in a time of emergency you don't need a license to carry. So, any questions about House Bill 1177? For those of you wanting an update on House Bill 357, which is our unlicensed carry bill, or the permitless carry bill, the only update I have is it's been about a week since I was told by the chair that we would get a hearing on 357 in 2 to 3 weeks. So we're down to 1 to 2 weeks before we get a hearing on House Bill 357 if the chair keeps his word. And I have no reason to suggest that he would not keep his word. So I'm looking at 1 to 2 weeks. Make sure you go to opencarrytexas.org, sign up for our email list so that we can let you know when that is. And also, please hit that donate button and make yourself a high caliber donor. $2.23 a month, $5.56 a month, 556-223, $7.62 a month, whatever your caliber is, 30-06. Make that donation if you can. Make it a monthly donation. If not, just make a one-time donation of whatever, and we appreciate it, because it pays for the gas that I'm using right now, as well as the parking, if I need to pay for parking. Thankfully, I'm a disabled veteran, and I say thankfully, but it means I live a life of pain. But as a disabled veteran, I don't have to pay for tolls or the parking meters, which saves us a little bit of money if I can find a metered parking area. But if not, that means I have to pay a parking garage, which can get it. That's $12 a day. All right, so there's that. Any questions about anything else related to Open Carry Texas? I'll give it a couple of minutes, see if anything pops up on the window. I don't really have any other updates as well. Go to opencarrytexas.org. Click on the bill tracking if you want to see what bills we're tracking. I do have my laptop with me, and so during the dead time while I'm waiting to testify, I will be updating, because on my laptop, I've got about 15 bills open that we are going to be analyzing today and adding to the website. So even if you check bill tracking right now, check it again this evening or later this afternoon, and it will be updated with a few more bills. We are up to, I think, 80 something bills that relate to firearms, and most of them are anti-gun bills. So all right, some almost park depositions for SX Perez on March 26th. As you know, Almost Park is the anti-gun, one of the anti-gun cities and police departments there in the San Antonio area, and there are numerous lawsuits going on right now. Y'all might ask, what's up? What's the update with my lawsuit? We have filed our demand letter. We have gotten a response from the city, which I cannot discuss in detail, but I will just tell you that the response from the city was offensive. That's all I'm gonna say. It was laughable and it was offensive. However, we haven't dropped the actual lawsuit yet, because James and I, at least in our cases, we're still dealing with the medical repercussions. I'm waiting on a referral from neurology, and I've got to get a scan done due to constant migraines. As a matter of fact, today is another headache day for me, which is quite often in the last year. And Jim has to have surgery on his shoulder now, thanks to the way he was treated as well while in custody. So that's the update on Almost Park for us. Anything else? Let's see if anybody's here. Yes, kick him in the teeth. Hey Terry, let's see who else we got here. Iberian Lion, hello. Danny Boy, what's up? Eggman, Greg, how you doing, brother? Danny Boy, Anthony, hello. Silent J, San Antonio Community Watch. All right, hello everybody. Okay, I don't see Audit Recon, your news now. So yeah, with regard to Olmos Park, we want to do it right, not do it fast. So I know some people are like, they want to hold the city accountable ASAP, and believe me, I do too. But it doesn't do any good to sue them now and declare damages now and possibly get a settlement, and then later find out that things, as the medical issues work their way through, find out that the damages should have been higher because we're still dealing with medical records and things like that. So we just want to make sure everything is resolved before we actually file the lawsuit, so that it's as accurate as possible. Okay, I think that's everything. I don't see any specific questions about everything else. March 26th is, if you're in the San Antonio area, is their deposition, but I don't think you can, generally depositions aren't public, so I don't think you can go to those anyway. So good luck to SA Ecstasy Perez and all those guys that are doing their depositions, because those are going to help everyone else that's suing Olmos Park. I can tell you that much. This is believe me, once these lawsuits start getting exposed and the facts start coming out in court, you are going to be surprised what you do not know. Oh, they're going to be in Austin. Okay. You are going to be surprised at what you don't know. You think it's bad what you do know about Olmos Park and Leon Valley? Wait till the facts come out about what people don't know that we've gotten through discovery and those sorts of things. So, all right, I'm gonna end this. I don't see anything else. Good luck to y'all. I'll leave another update once there's an update to have. I'll give you an update also from the Capitol, kind of let you know what the testimony looked like. I think 1177 is going to pass. It's a pretty easy, straightforward bill. I can't imagine why anyone would oppose it, except for people who just don't like guns anyway. It doesn't matter, and they don't think you should ever have a right to defend yourself. So those people will also be exposed in the committee and in the Democrat Party, and as well as in the testimony. So I'm anxious to see what Moms Demand Action does if they show up, and what their rationale is about not allowing people to carry without a license during an emergency evacuation order. That's going to be funny. So, all right, take care, guys. God bless.